Hey everyone, how are you doing? This is Joe from Human Deluxe, and I'm super excited because just look at that. Look at how clean, how neat the studio is. I cleaned up this place. Well, at least what's behind me. You don't want to see the front part, and I'm not going to show you. And there is a reason. Because I will be speaking tonight to architects. So there is a very big architectural company, the 5th biggest in the world or so, if you want to Google it, who have asked me to speak about human experience design, and we will be doing this in a minute, any minute now. And of course I am taking you with me on the journey. So if you want to learn about human experience design, you want to learn about the 3 principles of human experience design, you can do so in this video. So stay tuned for the talk. Let's go! So yeah, I'm from Berlin, Germany. We are famous for our architecture, actually. We have a very beautiful, newly built airport, which I think you might have heard about. It's very successful and we really enjoy it. And of course, we have other great buildings right in the city center, like this one. We love to put like signs on top of buildings for some reason. I don't know why. Yes, so also American signs, yay! Of course, all of these pictures are a little bit older from like socialist times. East of Berlin, we mostly renovated these buildings, so they look much better now. Some of them do have rainbows, actually. Right in the middle of the city, I have the honor to run the design studio Human Deluxe, together with my partner Nico, who you can see in the background of this picture. We do work a lot with gaming brands. We work with international brands like Zynga, so we just helped launch the latest Farmville game. Of course, we do create design systems. So we work with mostly app designs, digital experiences, create complex design systems, create app systems for app publishers, startups here in Berlin, but also internationally. And of course, we do work with other brands on mostly story-driven designs. This is an example for an outdoor company called The Gentle Jaunt, who transformed their online shop into a real like magazine-like immersive experience that helps their community to better understand their product and be a part of the community, actually. And just recently, we have started to work with the government here in Germany, helping them with their digitalization initiatives like Makers of Tomorrow, or the German Digital Service, so the digitalization unit of the German government. Of course, we, as I just do now, we love to share what we do and our experience, of course, our tools as well. So we do have a product called Toolbox, the Human Deluxe Toolbox, where we publish, like, of course, blog articles and interesting things we find on the internet, but also our resources, things we work with, templates, ideas, concepts, all of this. So this might be interesting for you to check out as well. But today we are talking about human experience design in general. What is that? So what is experience design? If you look on the internet, if you try to find a good explanation, you will usually find something like this, which, to be fair, I didn't fully understand what that means, but obviously it's right, and it's quite complex. If you look on the simpler side of the internet, let's say Google image search, you will find something like this. I don't know. I don't know what that means, actually. Definitely, this is like catch-up. This is not UX, but okay, fair enough. Actually, there's a Tumblr. There's a dedicated Tumblr to these kind of examples called Shitty UI UX Analogies, and there's a lot on them. My favorite one being this one, where we have like a paved way and a desired path, stating that the paved way is design and the desire path is user experience. And this is actually nothing that the internet made up, but this is a true story that some of you might be familiar with. Happened a couple of years ago at the Ohio State University. So in Ohio State, in Columbus, Ohio, they have this like big lawn in the middle of the faculty buildings. They call it the Oval for some reason because of its shape, which is somehow oval shaped. And I mean, you can probably imagine what happens if you put a lawn in the middle of buildings that students, that hundreds or thousands of students have to access every day. At some point, the lawn just looks like that. So some clever architect at Ohio State, came to the idea of putting, some kind of paved ways in the middle of this oval, and it started to look like that. So they kind of turned it into this beautiful geometric pattern that somehow connects all the buildings and still looks really dignified and really awesome. And what happened is it still kept looking like this. So people would bypass the official ways, people would bypass the beautiful made up structure, and they would still destroy the lawn. So at some point, the officials at Ohio State just said, let's do it. We'll just remove everything. We'll leave the lawn up for winter, and then let's see what happens, what kind of desire passes, what kind of mud passes form, and those we will pave. And they did. And this is what Ohio State looks today. So much more organic and much more usable actually than what they originally came up with. And of course, Ohio State is not the only university that did that. There are some more examples to be found on Google Maps. You can easily find them. Like in this case here, Virginia Tech, who it seems are still like in the middle of the process, or Southern Illinois in Carbondale, who are kind of bringing this to the next level with, like, I think more passes than actual lawn. But yeah, it works for them, and it's kind of great to see this, but somehow this has nothing to do with experience design or user experience. I would rather say this is usability probably, or ergonomics. And yeah, while ergonomics is great, but is not actually UX, we have to ask ourselves, what is experience design then? Let's start with a simpler question. What is an experience? So let's take an experience. Let's take a really cool experience, for example, roller coaster. Who of you has never ridden a roller coaster? Maybe quick hands or quick shout. Again, I can't see you at the moment.
I have ridden a roller coaster.
Great. Okay, so you probably remember what the experience was like. Because the first thing you do when you ride a roller coaster is this. You actually queue up. So you stand in line for quite a while. If it's a really popular roller coaster, you will stand there for quite a while. You get a little bit bored. You will get a little bit anxious. The closer you come to the entrance, the louder the screams will be. The more you will question your decision if this was actually a good idea. And then you sit down in the coaster, the barrier goes down, and you will experience this. The greatness of the roller coaster ride. And you will have this for like 90 seconds or so, and then you will take one of these beautiful, beautiful pictures of yourself that you use to remember your roller coaster ride. And you will share this on social media. Maybe you will show it to your coworkers the next day, something like this. So yeah, this is an experience. And the truth about this experience, although the roller coaster ride itself took only like 90 seconds or so, it can only exist because of what has happened before and what's happening after the ride. So we do have an anticipation phase and we do have a reflection phase for the experience. And only because these two phases exist, the experience is memorable and can happen. So this is something which is important, not only for experiences in general, but for experiences that are fun. The best experiences, funniest or most fun experiences are the ones that are interactive, that give us feedback, that give us something to touch or something to play with, where we get feedback from the experience, from the thing that we are interacting with, both in like big scale or even small scale, like in this example, which is an animated brand for Google, for the Google Assistant. But great experiences will give you also little surprises, like the question, what will happen next when I click the scissor in the footer of Kickstarter? And of course, I won't tell you, you will have to experience this for yourself. So kickstarter.com, just as a hint. But fun experiences, they foster curiosity and they have a personality. In best case, a fun experience will speak to you like a human being. Like this great app here from Tobias von Schneider, I think it's called Authentic Weather. Unfortunately, it's discontinued by now, but this is all I need to know about the weather actually. And while it might be edgy, yes, it's very distinctive, yes, but it speaks to me like a human being and it's something that resonates with me. There's a great example which I wanted to share with you, actually from your field of expertise, from the architectural view. This is the Emporia Mall in Malmö in Sweden. This is a relatively new mall. I think it's like 10 years old now and quite a big mall. And the architects worked together with a sound design company to basically create these different spaces within the mall. So basically it's a mall that has these kind of organic shaped hallways with different plaza situations. And each plaza kind of reflects a different element or a different theme, if you want to. This one, for example, is the Oceanic Plaza, if I remember correctly. You can see some kind of waterfall situation on the left. Or here we do have the forest themed or rainforest themed plaza. And the beautiful thing, what they did is they created a soundscape, a sound design for each of these plazas, not only on the level of where I am, what is happening in the in the plaza itself, but also on a level. So if you are on the ground floor level, you will have a different sound experience than you will have when you're in the third, second, fourth, whatever level you are in. So you can navigate the mall just by sound, just by acoustics. And if you want to, or we can try if it works actually, I have found a great example from their award video. So they got the Red Dot Award in 2013 for this one, and they won the Audio Branding Award, I guess. There's an example of what it sounds like. I hope it works and we won't have any interference. So I hope you got a little bit of an impression here. And what you could hear is that when you pay close attention, for example, to the Ocean Plaza, that on a upper level you heard more of an upper level above the surface ocean soundscape, mostly birds or waves, while on the lower levels you would hear these more ambient submarine below the ocean sounds. So these kind of soundscape help to create a user experience that help people to navigate the mall, but also develop a certain kind of perception of the mall, of the place that they are in. And what's great about this is it's optimized for usage. So great user experiences enable people to have a great experience while they are using the product. Actually, great user experiences can prolong usage. They can help to get people back to a product, get them back to a place and use this place more. In the case of Emporia, for example, people love to come back to this mall because of the tranquil and unique experiences they have compared to other malls in Malmö or Sweden and the surroundings. And of course, most companies, or better, companies who knows this best, are of course companies with great UX products like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So social media companies do know of the impact of user experience. They know how to use the data that they have to optimize their product to give us users a better experience, and they know how to grab our attention and hold on to it. This is something that we very often name the algorithm, or that we refer to as the algorithm, but it's a little bit more. It's actually a much more important part of user experience. Great UX creates feedback loops that help you to get something out of your interactions, that know that once you are rewarded for a certain interaction, you are willing to invest back into a product and come back to this product. And what we very often forget about this is the impact that it has on our life. This is we find these examples every day, like the kid who spends way too much money on mobile games, or how we spend almost an eighth or even a little bit more nowadays of our productive times on social media apps, or how great UX fires up the gig economy and creates all of these issues these like social issues around the gig economy. There's a great book about this whole topic from Nir Eyal called Hooked. So something, if you are interested in this and how great user experience actually works, that I would actually recommend reading. And there's one example where it's so on the nose how user experience influences our behavior that I wanted to share with you. It's actually from an app which is a little bit of on the old school side of apps, Snapchat. So Snapchat at some point in their history introduced a feature called streaks. So a streak is this little flame that you see next to the avatar or next to the username of a person. And it would work the following. If you have a conversation with somebody and they answer, and you do this for a couple of consecutive days, you are on a streak. And the longer you have these uninterrupted conversations or days without interruption in your conversation, the longer your streak would be. So you would have the counter next to the flame would go up. And this would not only help people to see who they interact with most regularly, but this would also get people to use Snapchat for the sake of these streaks. So this is an example of a conversation found on Twitter of somebody who, I guess missed out on a streak at some point and is really, really keen on getting back on the streak or not breaking the streak. So what you see is great UX can help to get people into a product, get them back in a product, but also results in some issues, which is mostly due to a lack of broader thinking. So let's think about what actually happens if we optimize a product not for when it's being used, but for when it's not being used. Something that not only results in more usage time or more time spent on a product, but in actually life happiness. So in something that people enjoy using because it helps them to be a better person and live a better life. And this is where human experience design comes in. So the idea of human experience design is to broaden the context. Instead of thinking of your product, you want to think of the journey that each human has when they interact with this product. And the question that you need to answer is, how can you help with your product, with your work, to make this journey a better journey and help people reach their life goals and fulfill their life's purpose? So with human experience design, we defined 3 principles, basically. First one, kill your KPIs, enable purpose, and look beyond your product. Okay, so let's look at these in detail. Kill your KPIs. This might sound a little bit radical if you want to, but think about it. When we talk about great UX, we talk about data-driven design. We talk about defining key performance indicators that help us understand when is a product successful and when not. And most of these KPIs go back to usage KPIs. Things like retention rate, return rate, or session length. How much time do I spend with a product? And if these KPIs are very high, of course you do have a good product. And in case of a social media, for example, you can sell more ad time. So the more we use a product, the better. But the downside of this is that a product might wear out and annoy people. You know the situation. Why am I back on Instagram again? Why am I mindlessly scrolling instead of going to bed now? Things like that is what annoy people and what result in a bad experience when the actual UX is highly optimized. To give you an example of an app who does it better, let's pull up dating app Bumble. So Bumble, of course, in the realm of apps like Tinder is, yeah, I think one of the good guys, but they have done something very, very, very clever. You know, there might be times where you don't want to be on the dating market. Say you want to have some family time, or you just want, yeah, want to have some kind of time out, vacation, whatever. So you want to pull yourself out of the dating market just for a temporary amount of time. And instead of deleting the app, Bumble has enabled their users to do exactly that. So in Bumble, you have a pause option where you can deactivate your account for a certain amount of time, just a day, 3 days, or a week if you want to. So if you're on vacation for a week, you can turn off Bumble, and then once you're back, you can, yeah, start getting back into the dating game. This is a great example of how an app actually looks beyond usage and looks beyond the idea of keeping people in, just making them happier and help them live a better and a more fulfilled life, if you want to. Another example is this app. I showed you the design system earlier today. This is an app, messaging app that we designed. And one of the key parts of this app was that it shouldn't annoy users too much. So what we did is we had this situation where we had these little notification bubbles on the icons on each chat. And instead of making them really attention seeking and really loud, like a usual notification icon would be, we tuned down the color and we almost merged it with the theme of the app to enable people to still see if they have something new in their chat, but also to not be too attention grabbing, to be a little bit calmer and less attentive. And of course, we can use machine learning to do something like that. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this product, the Nest thermostat. This is a product that actually works better the less you use it. So if you allow Nest to learn how your behavior around your home, your heating behavior, your cooling behavior is, the better it can adapt to this behavior and enable you to keep comfortable, but also save energy. So the ultimate goal of a tool like Nest is to be used as little as possible and to give people the best experience, the best human experience, if you will. And this is a great example or a great, great way to get to principle number 2, enable purpose. So when we talk about purpose, we talk about our life goals, not our goals within an app or within a product, but what do we want to reach in life? What do we want to do with our lives? Where do we want to go? And there's a great example. I found actually also an architecture example, the Koonya Pavilion. So Koonya Pavilion is a structure in Tasmania, Australia, built for an individual person by an architectural company called Room 11. I think Thomas Bailey was the architect. And the beautiful thing about this house is that it is designed as a hideout, as a place for an author to finish their novel. So the whole purpose of this place is to help fulfill this author, help them fulfill their purpose. So help them fulfill their goal of writing their novel and finishing their novel. And everything in this house, in this pavilion, is designed to to cater for this purpose. So the whole thing is a vessel for light. It basically lets the mood of the day, the mood of the vista in. If it's a sunny day, you will have a very bright, very happy environment. If it's a moody day, the whole house, the whole interior will reflect this. The house is basically built around a fridge and around a workplace that enables the author to work on their novel without any distraction and with the inspiration of the world around them, of the Tasmanian vista. So in this way, this product, this house, this pavilion, enables the purpose of this one individual person, of the owner of this house, and finding the purpose for each user of a product, for each human being who is interacting with the product, might be a little bit of a challenge. So there is different concepts like ikigai, a Japanese concept of finding your own individual purpose, or the purpose mapping, a tool that we use a lot if we want to figure out what does our audience, what do they want from us, what do they want from the product in the context of their lifestyle, of their everyday life, and how can we help them to, not fulfill this, but to get a little bit closer to their purpose. A great example for a physical human experience is the product or the subscription service LAT 2046. It's a company created by former Airbnb designer Vadik Marmeladov. And it basically works like that. For a flat fee of $100 in Bitcoin, you will receive a package every month. And you have no influence what is in the package, or what you will get, basically. And you will receive items like this, or even a tattoo gun. So in the end, the idea is to help people get lifestyle items, to get basically dress them completely and get them self-care items without them having to face decision anxiety. The idea is that at some point when you are subscribed to the service for long enough, you will get everything you need in your life. You will get fully dressed, you will get all the self-care items that you need without ever having to think about going to Zara, going to Safeways, doing anything like that to basically get dressed and get a lifestyle item. And this should help you to focus on what you actually want to do, what you are actually here for. Now, of course, I know the risk of this approach is that at some point you might end up with a very utilitarian product, something that is only there for the sake of itself, for the sake of doing what it's need to do. Remember Berlin architecture? Well, this is actually what has happened. And of course, we know better today, and we know how to avoid getting too utilitarian. I think a great way of doing this, and there we get to principle number 3 in human experience design, is to look beyond your product. Look beyond the boundaries of your company or what you are capable of doing, and think about what else is there. One question that I always ask our clients in our product workshops is, why would your product fail today? So if your product goes out, goes live, goes to market in the way it is today, why would it fail? And this question forces us as designers to think about why actually, or what the shortcomings of the product currently are. So it forces us to be very honest and to be very earnest about our products. You can ask yourself questions like, what would you do? What would you use instead of this product? If you wouldn't have this product, what would you do instead to solve your goal, to solve your purpose, solve your challenge? Or why are you not using the product as you would do? What alternative product would you use? And how would you integrate it in your everyday workflow, in your everyday flow? How does your product make you feel? Does it make you happy to use this product, or is it something that, well, is more on the utilitarian side? If you ask yourself this, and if you allow yourself to think about what else is there in the space, and if you look beyond your product, you might actually be able to extend your product range and figure out a whole world that your product can live in. Great example, again, Nest, now a part of Google, has turned from a single thermostat into this whole range of different home products that help people today to live a better and more frictionless life, that help them to concentrate on what's important for them and not to fiddle around with their actual home tech or things like that. So looking beyond the product is also what has happened in the Emporia Mall. By looking beyond the idea of shopping in a central place and thinking about how do people use a shopping mall, what do they want to experience in the time they spend there, the designers for Emporia were able to create this great and immersive human experience for their mall. So to do this, what we very often do is we try and look at the people who are using our products. One tool that we use a lot is the so-called empathy map, where we try to understand the world around the people, around the humans who are using our product. What makes them tick? What influences do they have? What do they think? What do they feel? And how do their actions reflect that? So with these three principles, kill your KPIs, enable purpose, and look beyond your product, we are able to create human experiences, to design human experiences, and we are able to build a world around a product and help to place these products in the world that the people, that the human beings are currently living in. Of course, I mentioned it earlier, we do share all of these concepts on our toolbox. So it's just toolbox.humandeluxe.com, or you can just Google it, where we share these concepts, but we also share tools that help you get started, tools that we use every day with our clients to help them get a little bit closer to the people they create products for and help them to look beyond their horizon, look beyond their own products. So you can also download and access these, of course, through toolbox.humandeluxe.com. And most important thing for us, and I think this is also my closing words, what we strive for with Human Deluxe and with human experience design is building moments, not things. Thank you so much. So that's it. I hope you learned a little something. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. There's a new video every week, and of course there's more videos. You can watch my TEDx video here on this side. So yeah, and I will see you in the next video.